Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline, or a 2.99% APR on a 2025 CR-V.
See dealer for financing details.
Room.
Not me completely cutting Neil off before we jumped on here.
What's going on? Important.
What's going on, everybody? Thursday, back at it again here after a crazy couple days here. Busy night coming ahead of us. It's our most favorite time of the year because it happens only twice a year as Flames are heading into New Jersey tonight, and we'll be live for the game tonight. It'll be fun.
Well, it should be a good one. Should be a good one between these two teams.
I'm excited.
So you know what's better than what we saw a couple days ago.
Well, I was going to bring that up. You know what's funny? So celebrated birthday yesterday, and we went
Happy
to
belated birthday. I'm sorry I didn't send you a message yesterday.
Oh God, it's all good. Don't worry about it. It's
Yeah.
all good. My own sister forgot. To be fair, though, like they're moving and they're setting up a listing, and she texted me this morning. She's like, "I'm so sorry," and I'm like, "Kill yourself." Anyway, no. So it's funny because with everything that happened Tuesday, which we'll get into, went to the Sudbury Wolves game last night in the OHL.
Right, I remember you telling me that.
Watched our boy Henry Muse play last night. They were playing the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, and for those of you who don't know, when you look on a map, it's a bit of a northern rivalry. There's 3 towns up north that have that kind of like close town rivalry. You know what I mean? You guys got it with the Rangers and Islanders and all that. So this is kind of their thing. Right. I swear to God, I think I watched the exact same game on Tuesday last night. I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, this is the exact same vibe I'm getting.
You're like, I hate this.
The passing was terrible. The like for the home team for the Wolves, they were awful. Henry Muse was no joke the only player that was consistent in getting the puck out because it was missed pucks, it was whiffed it was just all around terrible. Yeah. Which is why we're going to talk about what the hell happened on Tuesday.
So who ended up winning that game though?
The Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds won it.
Final score was what? 3-1?
3-2. Yeah. 3-2.
I could only wish that we had gotten that many goals.
Only the 3 goals.
Technically, we scored 3 on Tuesday, but
yes,
somebody decided to be offsides.
We're not going to talk about Monday because that was a crapshoot. That was a crapshoot.
We played like crap, and the Flames were down so bad the Twitter account didn't even post who scored the second goal. That's how bad we were down on Monday.
It was so bad. So instead, we're going to talk about the more interesting one, which was Tuesday, because we were live and watched the entire game. That was, I don't even know, even to this day, 2 days later, I don't even know how to describe what we watched on Tuesday.
I'm trying to remember what you said at the end after the game. I think you said, like, I feel like I was done dirty, or I feel like I feel like
I watched, like, you feel like the people who went to the game and paid money for that, I feel like we got robbed too.
Well, I mean, you like I was saying, like, those are 2.5 hours that you're not going to get back.
Yeah. And we never did.
And think about it from like the Rangers perspective, like Madison Square Garden tickets are always like expensive as hell, like well over $100. So imagine, like I was saying, like imagine people who spent like $150, right?
Yeah.
And saw that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I listened and before we show the score, like I listened afterwards. There was a post-game show with the I don't know who it is for the Rangers. Not the guys who commentated, but they were more or less like the official post-game show reporters.
Yeah, probably with Steve Valiquette and
I believe, you know what, that name sounds familiar. Yeah. And it was so funny listening to them because obviously they were trashing their own team, but
Of
it was
course.
so funny because it's like they made the Flames look and sound like a pee-wee kindergarten classroom team.
Damn.
It was like kind of a joke, and listen, that's fair. That's how they treat us normally. So I get it.
Yeah.
But okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, that happened.
Yeah, whatever this was. Now, let's just say, full disclosure, right? You look at this without watching the game. Without watching the game. You look at it 2-1, you probably think, oh, so it was a close, game, like type of playoff game. No, this was neither team really wanted to win this game. It was just kind of like they were both just existing on the ice. Although the
And
Flames did do a
I'll
lot, there
give the
was
Flames
positive.
credit in the sense that they were the ones applying a lot of pressure. That was the most
Shockingly.
shocking part about all that, right? Was that they were kind of relentless, but then again, it went back to their identity of, oh, we can't score,
Sure.
right? And it
Yep.
showcased throughout the night. So immediately, though, I guess we'll get the official time here. Panarin scored 1 minute and 13 seconds into the game last night. And that's where I'm sitting there going, oh, so this is going to be another blowout.
Yeah, Kyle's confidence just sunk to the bottom.
Completely dropped. First shot of the game, done. 1 goal, see you later, pass
Right.
Bedard, Panarin, no big deal.
Right.
It turns out that for the rest of the game on the Rangers side of things, there were a total of 4 players that had a shot on goal that night. It was Panarin who scored. He had one other shot that game.
He had one other shot.
It was Chris Kreider.
Uh-huh.
It was Mika Zibanejad.
What a shot.
And I believe it was Adam Fox who had one more.
So essentially the top
4
guys on the
guys.
team. Yeah.
4 guys had a shot on net, and that was it. They totaled 13. And seemingly after that, for frankly the entire game, outside of the faceoffs, the Flames just kind of weirdly dominated the pace of play, but weren't able to capitalize.
In a slow sense, yes.
In a very slow sense. So
Yeah.
Kadri gets one, Coronado gets one on the power play. Great for him. Great
shot, by the way, in the slot.
Really good.
Great shot.
Really good for Coronado. But after that, in the first period, you're kind of thinking, all right, 2-1 game. We got something going here a little bit. And then we witnessed the most boring, lifeless hockey I think we've ever seen in the last 2 periods of the game. What the actual fuck did we watch?
The whole second period was a full hour long.
It was unbelievable.
It was unbelievably slow.
Okay, so was it more surprising on the Rangers side of things or for Calgary?
I would say Calgary, because I'll talk about from the Rangers perspective, because obviously being in the New York, New Jersey area, I've seen the Rangers play a lot more than I've seen Calgary.
Yeah.
The Rangers are incredibly flip-floppy. 1 minute they look like they're getting their act together, and then the next minute they're like
the next minute they have 13 shots on net.
13 shots.
Entire game.
I would have thought that they would have had a better response after losing 3-1 to Edmonton 2 nights prior. This was worse. And I think for a lot of Ranger fans, from what I saw, I mean, even Jimmy, God bless him, he said, the season's over. I mean, it's just like a game like this, and this is not a knock on the Flames. It's more of an indictment on the Rangers of just, you had 13 shots. You had 7. Kyle, let's not forget, they had 7 shots going into the third period.
And we can show it here.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening,
I think it was 7.
It was 5 shots on net for the Rangers in the first, 3 in the second period, 5 in the third.
It was insane to me. And I think what I take away from the Flames is that really good job on the forecheck. I thought they were really good on the forecheck. And you know what? It kind of felt like at times, Kyle, I don't know if you had a chance to look back. It kind of felt like the Rangers were just kind of playing back. Like they weren't even really trying. There was a moment, I forgot when, I think it was with 4 minutes to go in the game. And I think Mackenzie Weegar had the puck behind the net. And the Rangers just did not even come up to try to do something on the forecheck. They just let Weegar stand there and waste time. I'm like,
and also too, there was one point where Keandre Miller had the puck and he came around the net, he was holding on to it, and he just kind of stood there and didn't look like he knew what he was doing. And I believe it was Zari who ended up picking it up, and he had a good chance on net.
Yeah.
He kind of just pickpocketed him like, okay, thanks, see you later.
And Zari, I mean, really good game from him in his first game back after the 2-game
I
suspension.
thought Zari was impressive last night.
Got an assist. He drew, I think he drew what, two of the 3
1
penalties?
or 2 penalties, yeah, something like that.
Also, can we talk about the cup slash
Oh my god.
on JT Miller, courtesy of who was that? Who
So when we were live on Tuesday,
it was Farabee.
we noticed that it was Joel Farabee who looked like, just from the original camera angle, that it was Joel Farabee who slashed JT Miller, and it looked bad as he clearly went off the ice, right? And Rangers players were complaining, Laviolette was complaining that should have been a penalty called at the end of the first.
Yep.
Lo and behold, we find out in the first intermission that JT Miller was cup checked by Joel Farabee.
He was just tapped. He was
just tapped, and that's what got him, right?
That just exposes JT Miller that he doesn't wear a cup. I mean, that's
you wonder, well, and maybe that's it, right? But that just showed, like, okay, well, it's not really a penalty.
I think the Rangers were just reacting to Miller, like, hunched over, like, it looked like he was holding his wrist, but in retrospect, he was just leaning over.
So to encapsulate everything that we saw there, right?
Sure. Yep.
Vladar didn't have to do much work, right? Closer to the end of the third period, I thought he was fine, right? He was good in the sense that he needed to make the key saves, and he did. No complaints there, really. I think really the only thing that we can look at just on the Flames standpoint is that they really could have just won this game 4-1, 5-1 at some point. But again, it speaks to the volumes of this team not being able to finish. How many times did we say during that stream that Huberdeau had a chance to finish and he couldn't finish? Here goes Huberdeau again. Right. I think Sharangovich had a good opportunity. He couldn't finish it. There was just times where you're watching and you're like, and credit to Shesterkin, I thought he was great on Tuesday night because he made some really key saves and some good 2-on-1 saves. But again, it just goes back to the volume of the fact that they just can't finish. And it seems to be the problem as the Flames, who scored 2 goals on Monday and got their ass kicked, happened to score 2 goals against the Rangers on Tuesday. And for some reason, that's enough.
Yeah, it definitely, going back to what you were saying, again, you know, the Flames, you win the game, and that's obviously important. And we talked about in the last episode that they needed to get at least one, and they got that. And they got it in the game, I think, that maybe we thought they had less of a chance of getting it done. Yeah. I mean, we were talking about that there was a possibility that they could beat the Leafs. We were completely wrong about that.
But I got my ass chewed out by family members for that one.
Oh, I'm sure. And, but yeah, no, I mean, they got to win on the road, which is important. They keep themselves right there in the thick of it. But clearly the lack of goal scoring is an issue, and it'll be really interesting to see tonight against the Devils, how they come out and how they play, because the Devils are the 3rd best team in the NHL when it comes to goal differential. Like, they give up the 3rd fewest goals in the league. So the Devils could very well play a very defensive game, and it might just be too difficult for Calgary. I mean, again, we'll have to see, but you know, I think what I'll take away from this game is that in this type of playoff push, you're going to have to win games that look like this. I mean, hopefully we don't get that many moving forward. Was it an intense game? Like was it nerve-wracking? I would say no, because it didn't feel like that the Rangers were trying to tie the game. It just kind of felt like they got a goal and they're like, all right, we're good. We don't have to like do anything because we have Shesterkin. Oh, we're just going to let him do everything.
A minute into the game, it's like confidence is up. We're going to rail these guys here in these next 3 periods, and it never showed.
And if you look at it, here's the biggest difference in the game. If you look to your right on the stats, 11 takeaways to 1.
Yeah, that's huge.
First of all, the fact that the Flames only turned over the puck once in this entire game is remarkable to me. And the 11 takeaways.
Well, hold on. Like takeaways meaning like you're taking it from them. It's
right.
Not
so I mean, they gave it up like 30 times. Yeah. But they had so many takeaways because, like I said before, their forecheck was really good. They just pursued, you know, the Rangers, and they hounded them, and it just, you know, it's like it was really kind of a strange game, but a win nonetheless, Kyle. And I think that's the way we got to look at it. A win is a win.
The best part about all of this, though, on Tuesday night, Rangers pull the goalie. about a minute left,
Oh God.
right?
Oh
They
God.
pulled the goalie with a minute left,
Ah.
and it's something that we forgot to bring up. But they go down. They I think they gave it away at center ice, and all
They
of a
did.
sudden, Kadri, perfect. He's got it. Passes it to Coleman. Empty net. Game over. See you later. It was a complete 2-0, right?
But wait.
The man in Blake Coleman was offside
Like he
on
was
a
fully
2-0.
offside.
On a 2-0.
Yeah, he was fully offsides.
Or like this was right at center ice when they picked off, I think it was Miller.
It was it was Miller. Miller fanned on a pass that ultimately was taken away by
Gave it
Kadri.
to Kadri. It was clear 2-0 with an empty net, and
So
Coleman
bad.
still finds his way offside. It was mind-boggling.
And
That was the perfect way to end the night.
did you see Jonathan Huberdeau, like while they were reviewing it for offsides, he's laughing.
He was laughing his ass off.
Everyone's
Coleman,
laughing at him like, you suck.
you
And I was
dumbass.
thinking to myself, what if we just gave up a goal right after that?
Well, mind you, there was 9 seconds left in the game.
I know, but still, like,
yeah.
what if we just did? I would be like, well, you shouldn't have been laughing. And you know, even after they won, Huberdeau was standing there, like, obviously waiting for all of his teammates, and he's laughing.
Yeah,
Because I
would've too.
swear he probably thought, like, how did we win this game?
Coleman's not going to hear the end of that one either.
Oh, no. But you know what? He's got a chance against his former team tonight. We'll see what he can do.
He does.
And Kevin Ball makes his return to Jersey as well.
And he does make his return. That's right.
I forgot that
yeah.
until just now.
Well, so we'll take a look at that in a sec.
Yeah.
But important tonight because not favorable tonight for the Flames in terms of a playoff race, if you even want to call it that at this point.
I still call it.
Good news is they're 3 games behind, or they're going to be 3 games behind St. Louis and 2 games behind the Canucks.
Love it.
The bad news is that both of those teams play each other tonight in St. Louis. And it's not great because both of them are at 75 points.
But
I'm kind of leaning towards rooting for St. Louis a little bit because we have more games in hand. But then also looking at the Blue schedule, I was looking at it. They have Nashville 2 more times. They've got Chicago coming up. They got Montreal coming up, who's been playing well. It's just not great in terms of the schedule if you're looking at it. But I'd rather just have St. Louis win, preferably in regulation tonight against Vancouver. They're in St. Louis tonight. And the nice part, I was looking at it too. All 4 of these teams that are racing for that final wildcard spot, Utah and Calgary are the only 2 teams seeing each other for the rest of the season, and that's it. Everybody else is kind of in their own boat, so to speak.
And I've always looked at it like that's like good and bad in the sense of like, you know, you don't have to necessarily worry about playing one of those opponents, but at the same time, you want to be able to somewhat control your own destiny and try to win those games against the teams that you're racing against. Yeah. I think I have a tough time seeing anybody catching Minnesota because I think they've given themselves a pretty decent cushion. But I mean,
you got it. Yep.
You know, but yeah, I would lean towards St. Louis. They do have 1 game in hand on Vancouver, and again, it is in St. Louis. So I think if you're a Flames fan, that's your rooting guide, I guess you would say. But again, the main focus has to be the game you're playing tonight in New Jersey.
And you can't, and that's the thing. Like
you can't worry about other results when you have your own game going on.
They got to keep taking care of their own business. And frankly, there's an opportunity tonight and Saturday against a struggling Islanders team as well. So
yes,
a lot of important games coming up before the end of March because it's kind of a gauntlet at the end where I mentioned it this past Monday where it was Stars, Oilers, and then Colorado. So it's a bit of a gauntlet there. So you need to kind of revitalize a little bit and have and show faith a little bit. So I also have to admit, the draft pick thing I've been clamoring about all year, I was wrong.
With which one?
So with the Sean Monahan one.
Oh, okay.
So from my understanding and from what I'm read is next year's draft has nothing to do with this pick, right?
Okay.
If I was right in the sense that if they finish outside the top 10, the Flames do, that bottom 10, whatever you want to call it, then yes, Montreal will for sure. I think, no, sorry, if we finish inside the bottom 10 this year, the
Mhm.
pick actually goes to the Florida pick that we have this year.
So then the Panthers get it?
No, so the Canadians are getting a pick regardless,
Okay.
but they're gonna if we finish in that bottom 10, it's gonna go to that Florida pick that we currently possess because of that
Okay.
Kachuk trade.
Okay.
So that's from what I saw. So it's kind of like, and I'll
Gotcha.
go back to looking at the standings. Like that's why I'm leaning more towards like, man, I hope some of these teams catch them because I wouldn't mind finishing to keep that pick all of a sudden because you
Yeah.
still want to make sure you have some, you don't want to give it away and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
you're going to have 2 picks later on. That's the
Right.
only thing.
Yeah.
But again, like you can't control it, right? Because these
No.
guys know that they want to push for the playoffs. And
Right.
evidently, I think that the way that I see this trajectory going is that they're going to be finishing anywhere between 11th and 16th. Who knows?
I think that's a pretty good range, and I think I don't know. I would argue to say that like if even if the Flames don't make the playoffs, I think for the people who obviously have made their voices very clear about where they want the Flames to end up in terms of tanking and all that, I think you could still look at missing the playoffs but still being in the lottery as kind of a win-win type of situation because you played meaningful hockey until the very end.
Yeah.
Meaning, Flames fans are not like tuning out by mid-January and being like, all right, this is the end of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's there. But I think I still look at it like the Flames have come too far to like just stop
Crap out.
making a push now. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think that
but
yeah.
also even to like just watching Tuesday and watching Monday, I've just got this bad feeling that they've kind of hit their ceiling a little bit.
You think?
I think so. It's possible. I mean, just kind of looking at it, like, yeah, you have an opportunity with these 2 games ahead of you to kind of pull back and still kind
Mhm.
of be in that conversation. We talked about it too with like the 2 weeks remaining, right?
Right.
I'm just looking at it ahead, and I
Schedule
don't
is
feel.
brutal.
Also, actually, that Stars Oilers Avalanche, what I'm talking about, they play the Kraken Tuesday coming up, and then it's that gauntlet. So you
I would
have
I
3
would
games here,
yeah.
right?
You got to get 2 out of 3 at least. It's the way that I look at it. You
If
may even
they,
have
man,
to get all 3, honestly. I mean, that's kind of the way. That's the tough part is that you have to find a way to get a good result. Do they play the Kraken in Seattle or
in Calgary.
in Calgary? Okay.
Yep.
So you gotta you mentioned you have the opportunity tonight with the Devils. Then you have a very struggling yet somehow still in the playoff race at this point, the New
In the
York
Islanders.
Islanders,
Yep.
and then you have the Kraken. I have to be honest with you, and this is coming from obviously someone who covers the Devils. That's 3 winnable games right there, in my opinion.
And
I
to
think
be
the toughest
honest,
of the 3 is probably tonight. I would
I would
argue.
I would argue that too, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would argue too that I think they have to win all 3 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was saying, like at first I said at least 2 out of 3, but I'm thinking about it like I don't even think there's an at least. I think there has to be. I think you have to get best case scenario.
I don't see them. I just
Yeah.
like I don't see them beating Dallas. I don't see them going to Edmonton beating them. I don't see them going to Colorado and beating them. Like
Yeah.
this,
That's
I'm
a
telling
great-
you, this could get ugly very quickly.
Yeah, I mean it'll be really interesting to see over the next week and a half where they're at.
They might go
Um,
1-5. I could
they might.
genuinely see them going
They
1-5.
might. They might. And I think I mean I know this is so cliche to say, but I think it's important for Flames fans in general to just look at it one game at a time. Just I know it's easy, like you were just doing, like looking ahead to what's coming up. I think the best thing is to just try to focus on the now and saying like, how
It's
can
true.
we get into a better position now?
Well, then you
To
got Utah and then the Golden Knights right after that. It's like it's
is
a
it in
gauntlet.
Vegas?
It's they have 2 games at home against the Golden Knights
Thank
the rest of the
goodness.
year. Well, I mean, I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day, but
Well,
that's
I'm saying like we don't have a lot of luck in Vegas. Maybe it'll be better if we're at home. I don't know.
sure.
It's-
I'm just on the side of this could get real ugly here in these next 2 weeks.
And
I'm
that's
not
kind of
feeling very confident.
that's kind of what I read on Twitter, like Flames Twitter, that like I think there's definitely a good chunk of the fan base that's like this really is gonna like be like the maker, essentially the
This
make or
is
break.
it.
Like this is it. And if we come out of it maybe only winning 2 or 3 of those games, we're pretty much out of it, I think, at that point.
No, I mean like, or you mean like losing 2 of the 3 games? You mean?
Yeah. And I think that's the way I like.
I think they have to win all 3 coming up. I'm not even kidding you.
I can understand that for sure. And I think, and it starts tonight. And I think that, I mean, I think there's plenty of motivation.
Sure.
And I think it's just going to be about you may very well have to play a similar game as you played against the Rangers, but the only thing is that I don't think that the Devils will have just 13 shots on goal.
Yeah, before that Rangers game, just to give perspective here, they were, and even if you want to include the shootout loss and overtime losses and all that, they were 1-5. Like, that's something that's just been glossed over, I think, right? And the only win was against the Canadiens, 1-0.
Right.
So that's where I'm at. Like, I think that this is going to get pretty nasty the next little bit. Well, and I've accepted it.
Fair enough. I guess we'll see. I mean, like, we'll see what happens tonight.
That's why I'm on the train of like, okay, you know what? There's a 3-point difference between all these teams. Just let it happen, man. Just let the floodgates open at this point.
Let's see what happens, and go from there. So, I mean, it's not looking great. But maybe I'm just always over optimistic about everything. I'm looking at it more like, you never know what could happen. I mean, the Flames could surprise us all and go on a run. I mean, unfortunately, they haven't shown that throughout the year that they could put together 4 or 5 wins. And, it's going to be interesting where they are down the stretch. And I think regardless of what happens down the stretch, I think Flames fans should still look at this season as a win because of the fact that despite the lack of goal scoring, they still competed to the very end. And I think that's what Ryan Huska and Craig Conroy want to see from this team the rest of the year, is to just fight till the end until the last game is over.
And also, I think there's a clear path forward.
Exactly. I think he created it. Yeah.
They know, right? There's a path forward.
It'll be good.
And that's the important thing. No, so, okay.
Yeah,
we'll preview. It's still gonna be a fun night tonight, though. Like
I completely agree.
All right, let's get to a break. We'll come back and we'll preview tonight's game. Neil's got some more insight knowledge, I'm sure, of his.
This is one of the few times where I'm actually like, I have like all of the information for everybody.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll get you ready for tonight. Basketball fans, though, are you ready to win real money? It's that time of year. It's March Madness. Check out Pick 6 from DraftKings. When it comes to basketball payouts, DraftKings Pick 6 dunks on its rivals, including Prize Picks. Just select 2 or more players and choose will have more or less of a stat like points, rebounds, 3-pointers, and more. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. Don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6 and cash in your basketball knowledge. New players get $50 in Pick 6 credits instantly on just $5 entries. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with DraftKings. The crown is yours.
In Ontario.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to take an adventure with rugged capability and commanding style. Check out the Honda Ridgeline, Pilot, or CRV. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Pilot, a 1.99% APR on a 2025 Ridgeline, or a 2.99% APR on a 2025 CRV.
See dealer for financing details.
Bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/ice.
Boy, are you lazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way to do it.
No, it's good. It's good. No, I think what is that, a sound clip that we have now?
That's an audio clip.
That's awesome. That's good to know moving forward.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I got it. I'll put it up tomorrow.
Cool.
All right, let's take a look. We got tonight. We got some interesting lineup changes for the Flames side of things, and then we'll obviously talk about the Devils afterwards.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to show
Bring
real
up the
quick.
Flames.
Let's quickly show the Flames here real quick. So no longer Huberdeau and Kadri on the same line. It's going to be Connor Zary sitting there replacing Huberdeau, as it's going to be Zary, Kadri, and Pospisil. You got Jonathan Huberdeau now with Morgan Frost and Coronado. I actually really like that lineup there.
Better.
Joel Farabee there again with Sharon Govich and Coleman, and then you got Lomberg, Rooney, and Klapka. Defensive pairings are the exact same with Hanley and Uyghur, Ball Anderson, Bean, and Miramanoff. And Dustin Wolf will be your starter tonight. Do you like the change with Huberdeau moving down now and Zary getting a spot on the top line with Kadri?
I do, because, we talked about it ad nauseum throughout the year that, Huberdeau is a pass first guy. That's really his go-to game. And I think putting him on a line with two guys that are more scoring oriented, especially Matt Coronado, I think that can go a long way. So I like the move. I think Connor Zary earned an opportunity to play on that top line because of the way he played against the Rangers. We talked about it. I thought he was very impactful, and he's impactful in a lot of different ways. He can create offensive chances. He's also really good at drawing penalties. So he just is able to do a little bit of everything. So yeah, no, I like what Husk is doing here. And pretty much, he's going to go with Dustin Wolf, and that doesn't surprise me. Because Dustin Wolf clearly didn't need to play against the Rangers. I mean,
yeah, that's right.
Honestly, he really didn't need to.
That's right, he didn't.
But yeah, no, solid lines, and we'll see. We'll see what happens. Somebody's not happy on Twitter that Miromanov is still playing.
People aren't happy in general. God damn it! Like, I get it, Braden Pahal. You don't know what it is though. Like, maybe Paul came up and was like, "Hey, like, I gotta source something." All right, whatever, right?
Someone quote tweeted saying, "Once again, Ryan Huska, everyone." I don't know what that means.
I do not like the slander that he's been getting this year. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah, I don't understand.
He is one of the smaller reasons why this team's where they are. And the only reason why they have a sniff chance now at a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. So, like, and he's getting but also too, like, what, you think it's a massive upgrade now, Braden Pahal over Miramanoff? Like, that's the biggest difference in the world,
Yeah.
Like, that's what's going to make or break it.
I think for some fans, they just want to find a reason to complain.
They will.
Regardless
they always
of whether
will with this team. Yeah. Always will. It's frustrating because it's just like, and again, I'm going to reiterate it, and I said it on Tuesday night. Just watch the effing game, man. Go watch and enjoy it for once in your life. Stop bitching and complaining every single time we see it online. And I know you see it too, Neil, with your Devils, and I'm sure fans see it everywhere.
Oh, you have
it's so annoying.
idea.
And it's annoying. It's like, just go watch the game and fucking enjoy it, for God's sakes, or try and enjoy it, because we only live on this earth once, for God's sakes. So you know what?
True.
I'm gonna have a couple beers with you tonight. I'm out of it, so it might be something else. But and we're gonna have a fun night tonight.
We're gonna have a fun night.
That's how it is,
Yeah,
like, go
great.
enjoy it and stop bitching and complaining, because you're not the manager of this team. Let the guys who actually get paid money to do this actually do it, because God forbid you know how to do it. Anyway,
100%.
Okay, let's any news Devils tonight? What do we got?
Yeah, so a couple of points. Jacob Markstrom, not a surprise, is starting tonight for the Devils. He has been struggling a lot since he got back from his knee injury. Flames fans obviously have seen this literally just last year. He comes back from injury and just wasn't the same. So, but Jacob Markstrom needs a get right game. It's possible it could be this one. Maybe playing against your former team gives you that type of motivation. He didn't play poorly the last time they played the Flames.
He was fine.
He was fine. The Devils just, quite frankly, just didn't play all that well in front of him. But that's one thing. Sheldon Keefe also said he's thinking about some lineup changes. So from Devils' perspective, we might see some lines that we haven't seen at all this year. I'm not saying anything crazy, but we'll see. Curtis Lazar, Tomas Tatar, Andre Palat didn't practice yesterday because of bumps and bruises. Now, this is from Bill Spalding, who's the play-by-play voice on MSG for the Devils. He said, Sheldon Keefe said this morning that there were a number of game time decisions for the Devils tonight. There was a big turnout on the ice this morning for an optional skate. So I think it might be a combination of guys being banged up and maybe also sick.
Right.
So, I don't know. There's no call-ups, so it's not. I think that you're going to end up seeing a good majority of the guys, but maybe 2 or 3 guys don't play. We'll see. It's going to basically what I'm trying to tell everybody is that we won't know until we go live later tonight. We just won't know.
We'll probably find out closer to it. Yeah.
I don't know if anyone mentioned it, but there are 4 former Devils that are playing tonight for the Calgary Flames. You have obviously Yegor Sharangovich, Blake Coleman, Kevin Rooney, and Kevin Ball, who makes his first return to New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to know if they do anything for him or if they just acknowledge the fact that he's back. He played it. He played there for a bit, so it's not like he was there for a couple of minutes and didn't play. So, from the Devils' perspective, I can't really say anything other than I think you're going to
game time decision, basically.
Game time decisions, and for any Devils fan that might be watching, we might see a different line combinations altogether. So my response is, don't freak out, because again, Sheldon Keefe has warned us that this is happening.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens tonight. Big thing I'll say though for the Flames is you have to find a way to slow down Jesper Bratt, because he has been playing on a tear of late. He has 11 points in his last 5 games. He's been
he was better than all the Rangers players on Tuesday.
He's actually been playing on a third line of late with Eric Haula and Cody Glass, who the Devils picked up from Pittsburgh at the trade deadline. Cody Glass, mind you, has points in 4 of his first 5 games with the Devils, has 5 points already.
Good.
So he has clearly been a really solid addition to the Devils. Brian Dumoulin as well is another guy that, Flames fans didn't see with New Jersey the last time they played, which was, November? So long time ago. And that's pretty much it. And we'll see if Mrs. Fields wins for a 3rd consecutive night. I don't know. We will see. Somebody's going to tell me at some point tonight. Yeah. I'll probably confirm it. But I think overall for the Devils, they're coming off of a gutsy 2-1 win on, why am I blanking? Monday night against the Blue Jackets, where they won 2-1. Although it was way more entertaining than what we saw on Tuesday, I'll tell you that. Way more drama. But the Devils have won 4 of their last 5 and have taken a pretty big lead over the Blue Jackets and the Rangers with the help of the Flames, obviously, on Tuesday. Devils currently have an 8-point lead on the Rangers for the 3rd spot in the Metro, while they have a 10-point lead on the Blue Jackets. So the Devils, I don't want to say they've locked it up, because there's still time to falter down the stretch.
It feels like there's a good enough cushion, though.
But they currently have, I think, from Money Puck, I think they said it was like 97% likely they'll make the playoffs. So
worried about it.
I said it on the Devil State of Mind podcast episode yesterday. They have to basically go 500 the rest of the way, and they'll get in. So
they'll be fine.
But they need to string together, obviously, a couple more good performances. But it'll be a test tonight, not just because we're playing the Flames, but again, because of the fact that there might be different line combinations and some guys may not be playing tonight. So, again.
Well, that's the big thing, is that because they've changed it up, now it's kind of like, all right, we're getting something a little different tonight, because we're not expecting, like, usually you see the Huberdeau Kadri line, and now with the video coaches, I imagine they're looking at it going, okay, well, things are going to be different now because they've changed it.
Yeah. And some people might argue that, like, oh, is Sheldon Keefe, like, quote unquote bluffing when he says, like, is it gamesmanship? Probably not. He's probably just being honest.
I can't see it. I can't see that.
It's not like Sheldon Keefe is purposely trying to make it harder on the Flames. I think he just legitimately is like, I don't know.
We don't know.
He's not going to know until probably warmups, where, and even then, it might be sooner than that. Might be right before warmups. He'll have an idea as to who's playing tonight. So. Interesting. Very interesting storyline going into this. And another interesting storyline, Kyle, that I forgot to mention. Okay. In the last meeting between the Devils and the Flames, Ryan Lomberg absolutely destroyed Nate Bastian in a fight. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember that.
And Nate Bastian then was out for a period of time, came back, was wearing the bottom half of a shield or whatever you want to call it. Paul Cotter made an interesting comment after practice yesterday that said, it's in the back of our mind, we will handle it. Sheldon Keefe, on the other hand, said, that's the furthest thing that I've thought about. I didn't even remember it until you brought it up.
Same.
So it's possible that we might get some fisticuffs at some point, probably early on in this game, when Longberg and probably Paul Cotter are potentially on the ice. So that's something. Why not, right? Get some more. Get something going.
Cool. I don't think we have much else. I got nothing else for today.
Well, I think the one thing you forgot to mention from the Rangers game is Shesterkin was shit talking. I think it was Rasmus Anderson during a TV timeout. Yeah.
He was like, "Oh yeah, they were paying more attention to me and not the game."
Exactly, and I think that. I mean, again, it was funny. It's funny. So. Cool. I can't tell you what type of Devils team we're going to get tonight, and I certainly couldn't tell you what type of Flames. Like, it might be a chess match tonight, and that's not a good thing.
It is going to be absolutely a chess match tonight. Yeah, no, nothing else news-wise. Just some big games tonight. Obviously, the one there being the Blues and the Canucks trying to fight for that final wildcard spot, and who knows what happens tonight. But, yeah, we're going to be live on THPN tonight. We're going to be live on the YouTube channel. We're going to be live on Twitch. And if X decides to work, it might work there as well. But
I can also try on my Twitter, see if we can.
If you want to throw it up there, sure. Why not?
Yeah, let's throw it. I'll do it later.
Sure. Yeah, we'll add those in. And we will be live at 7 o'clock tonight. I'm going to go run out and do some errands. And
I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go take a fat nap and enjoy it.
Take a nap and maybe throw on some March Madness basketball.
Oh, my brother already has 3 TVs up in the other room. So he's just. I was driving home, and I was over like one of the bridges from like Staten Island into New Jersey. And they did like a score update in one of the games. I think it was like Wisconsin and Montana. It was just showing the score, and I'm like,
I saw Creighton in Louisville. Somebody threw a water bottle.
Creighton blew out Louisville. Like blew them
somebody
out.
threw a water bottle on the court.
Something like that. Yeah. So hey, man.
Yeah.
Cool. Welcome to March Madness. Fun fact also, the Devils' home arena, the Prudential Center, will host the Elite Eight in the East region of the tournament. So I'm not going. I don't have the money for that. I did it once, and I'm not going to do it again.
You did it one time.
Did it one time. It was Kentucky, North Carolina in the Elite Eight that one year I went. So that was actually really cool.
Nice.
So
cool. Well, that's going to wrap it up today. We'll see you all tonight after we take a nap. And and then we'll be back.
I was taking a nap, but I certainly am.
I might take a nap.
Take a fat nap.
And then Monday we'll be back with whatever happens here tonight. And
recapping. Tonight and Saturday. Was that night game?
Afternoon game against the Islanders. So there you go. Cool.
I might be doing a doubleheader that day. I might be going to see the PWHL. The New York Sirens are playing at the Prudential Center, and then the Devils have a big game against the Ottawa Senators, who have just been
big game. I'm telling you, I might go. I might go to a Sens game.
Kyle did say that if the Flames don't make it,
well, doesn't matter if they made it. I'm just saying if they do and the tickets are cheap enough, I might just go.
And he said he was going to jump on the bandwagon, so
I might go just for fun. I just want to see
the
atmosphere.
So that could be fun.
All right, we'll wrap it up, and we'll see you all tonight on THPN. Cool. Chat to you all. Have a great night, and we'll chat to you all Monday. See ya.
Now's the time for a great deal on a new Honda. It's time to drive smarter with high-tech features and excellent reliability. Check out the Honda Civic, Accord, or HR-V. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.99% APR on a 2025 Civic or a 3.99% APR on a 2025 Accord or HR-V.
See dealer for financing details. Exclude Civic SI and Type R.